Wayne is a scientist who loves inventing ideas, and many of his homes are full of gadgets. For the last 5 years, Wayne has been working on a fire variable, which, as the name suggests, is a machine that can shrink matter. For this reason, he couldn't help but forget to eat and sleep, and finally invented the Aurora Crusher. Yes, Wayne's research didn't go well. Over the past 5 years, he has been defeated repeatedly, and he has been defeated repeatedly. So today, Wayne decided to do the last wave. If he couldn't get investment at the science exchange meeting, he would give up scientific research and go back to his office. Wayne has 2 children, a sister with blonde hair and a brother with small glasses. Today, his parents are out, and they are the only ones left at home. Just as the siblings were playing madly, the brother who lived next door suddenly came to the door. One of the brothers was shy and the other was not good, so let's call them Brother and Thorn. For their sudden visit, the siblings were a little puzzled because the personal relationship between the two was not good. The other father regarded Wayne as a weirdo, and the Thorn brother was always looking for small glasses. It can be said that in addition to bickering, the two families basically had no angle. Brother Han Shu took the lead in breaking the embarrassment. He said that just now, the Thorn brother accidentally broke the window of Wayne's house while playing baseball. The brother apologized to the siblings and planned to use Lynn to compensate. But the Thorn brother was obviously not happy and said that compensation was okay, but he had to return the ball to him. Brother Han Shu's attitude was quite good. The golden-haired girl asked the little glasses to take the sideways brother upstairs to get the ball, but for some reason, the 2 children didn't come back for a long time, and the brother and sister went to find forgiveness. Oh, that's right. The attic was Wayne's studio. Just now, the flying ball of the piercing brother first started the machine, and then blocked a beam of light on the machine. After this wave of operation, it accidentally hit the miniaturizer. Because the machine can automatically lock on the target, 2 sofas and 4 children became the first batch of double eyelids. After that, the ball was shaken off, and the machine randomly closed the attic to restore the bottleneck. However, at this moment, the children were not in a calm mood. They had shrunk as big as marbles, the gap in the floor became the Great Rift Valley, the plastic frame turned into the Alps, and the dog became a dinosaur version of the monster. But fortunately, the dog had a keen sense of smell and immediately recognized the small things on the ground as the owner and ate them in seconds. It doesn't matter if the small glasses comfort everyone. If this thing can become smaller, it can become bigger. When Dad comes back, he will definitely be able to change them back. But what little glasses didn't know was that at today's exchange meeting, Wayne was laughed at by the investors. For his miniaturizer, the investors said that he was not Wang Duoyu and did not sponsor the dream. Wayne returned home with a disgraced face and found that the children were not there. So he went to the attic to find him. He subconsciously wanted to sit on the sofa, but disappeared, stood up, and saw the broken window and the invention that made no progress. At this moment, Wayne's anger was even more difficult than AK's, and the super iron rods smashed the machine to pieces. He didn't know that on the ground not far away, the children were waving desperately to stop him. Due to the small voice of the people, the children couldn't let Wayne hear the shouting of their throats, so they could only run for 4 years. After finally escaping the screws and broken glass, they came to switch hands and bump. They jumped repeatedly, but they were still defeated by the double-sided pinch of the cleaning tool. Finally, they mixed with a pile of parts and were thrown into the trash can by Wayne. When the surroundings calmed down, the children used the glass to tear open the plastic, and what came into view was a tropical rainforest. At a glance, the little glasses saw that this was his yard. No matter what happened later, the first goal of the moment was to get back to the house. Since then, the children have started their adventure mission to survive in the rainforest. Obviously, this task is not easy to complete. Not only is the journey long, but every step is a checkpoint. First of all, in front of the children is a small river formed by dog urine, and the dead bugs floating on it are daunting. However, Little Glasses thought of a clever plan based on dog urine. Although the man can't see them, Goozy can do it. As long as they summon Goozy, they can ride on the dog. Can't they get home quickly? As soon as the other children heard this idea, they quickly climbed to a flower and whistled to summon Goozy. As for the dog, he was indeed replaced, but he was scared back by the cat of the piercing brother halfway. Seeing this, Little Glasses couldn't help but quarrel with the piercing brother and didn't want to slip into the stamen next to him. This wasn't a big deal at first, but the children had to face the bee army immediately. The Little Glasses were stained with pollen, but they still became torches. The subtle brother jumped on the bee's back to save him, but was led by the bee to play a roller coaster. Coincidentally, Wayne came to the yard at this time, saw the bee coming straight to him, and Loon grabbed something and started waving it. Thanks to the quick reaction of the bee and the two children, he managed to escape the disaster. The bee flew away, and Wayne finally calmed down. He had a baseball bat in his hand, but no one in the house played baseball. He looked at the hole in the window and had an ominous premonition. Wayne ran to the attic quickly, crouched down and looked for it carefully. Sure enough, there was a small sofa that had been stepped on the ground. His invention actually succeeded. However, within 2 seconds of happiness, he realized that something big was wrong, and the children were most likely shrunk. Thinking of the garbage bag that had just been thrown out, Wayne's expression management instantly lost control. He guessed that the children might be somewhere in the yard now. In order not to step on them, he decided to use roundabout means to find someone. When they were running for their lives, the blonde-haired girl slipped under her feet. If they didn't believe it, they fell into the muddy water. Thanks to Brother Hans Schu's boldness and meticulous care, they saved the blonde-haired girl. The four of them overcame the difficulties together several times and finally let go of the past. Even the Little Eyes and the Thorn brother, who usually quarreled when they met, were now able to get along peacefully and continue to move forward. The children finally received a reward instead of a test. It was a mountain of biscuits, so big that 4 people couldn't finish it in a few days. However, they were not the only ones who had their eyes on this delicacy. Before the children could finish eating, an ant emerged from the top of the biscuit hill. Seeing this, Little Glasses had another ingenious idea. The ant ran fast, and if they could tame him, they could ride the ant home, saving time and effort. A consensus was reached. Little Glasses, Thorn, and Concealed Brother turned into a man who covered ants, but they were not powerful enough, and 1 or 2 were thrown out by the ants. At this time, my sister also had a good idea. They could use food as bait to control the actions of ants, just like tying a carrot in front of a donkey. In the next time, the children began to tame the beast. So what was Wayne doing during this period? Work, sit, boy, drop it. Okay, now it seems that the brother's father thinks Wayne is a weirdo, but it is not a prejudice. Let me introduce. At this time, we see the parents of Brother Hans Schu and Brother Thorn. Today, the family had planned to go hiking, but when they set off, the couple found that their 2 children were missing. In order to find the children, they contacted real-world friends everywhere and even called the police. But due to the short time of disappearance and the father of the Thornhead looked like a grumpy brother, the police concluded that the 2 children just ran away from home for a while, and it was not a problem. On the other hand, Wayne's wife had also returned from her hometown and almost fainted when she learned that Lao Lai Long went to buy him. The 2 discussed it for a while but decided to tell the neighbors and the couple about it. Looking at the shrinking sofa, the parents of the brothers thought that N was weird, and they had to believe what he said. Unknowingly, as night fell, the 2 fathers had to pause their search. They cheered each other on, praying that the children were safe, and then took the children back. After successfully taming the little ants, they drove a long way. During this period, the little ant and the little ant became friends. During the break, they decided to let the little ant go, but the little ant did not leave. It seemed that they wanted to send them home. The sky was getting darker and darker, and the children decided to spend the night in the building block, but they did not want to be attacked by a scorpion in the middle of the night. In order to save the child, the little ant decided to attract fire by himself, and the children did their best to drive away the scorpion. Finally, the scorpion could not withstand the beating and fled. Unfortunately, the little ant did not breathe. Seeing this, the piercing brother was very sad, and he must not forget this friend for 10 or even decades. After dawn, the children decided to continue on their way. However, before they could set off, the surrounding grass suddenly began to shake violently, like an earthquake, and the little eyes suddenly reacted. "It's over, isn't this a grass picker?" Yesterday, Little Glasses asked a friend to help weed, but his friend didn't come. When passing by Wayne's house this morning, the man played the remote control review machine by himself. The rise of friends to play, but the children ushered in a disaster. Just as they were about to be swept into the blade, the winds appeared in time and turned off the review machine. At the same time, Goozy seized the opportunity to rush out of the house. He found the owner and successfully took the children back. To remind Wayne, the dog jumped directly to the table, but with too much force, he threw the Little Glasses into Wayne's oat bowl. On the table, the children screamed in horror, but Cowan couldn't hear it and ate it one bite at a time. After a while, the Little Glasses ushered in the biggest crisis of this adventure. Wayne's mouth, the moment of life and death. The dog bit Wayne's leg. At this moment, Wayne finally realized something. He took out the magnifying glass. Wasn't it his son who was swimming in the spoon? After finding the children, the next step is to turn them back into machines. Wayne has fixed it last night, but the problem is that he has become an apple crusher again. The adult was worried, and the Little Glasses gave Wayne a hint that the key to success was to block the laser light with a baseball. Wayne instantly understood what his son meant, but there was no guarantee of safety when making things. In order to prevent the children from being suspected, the father of the stabbing brother stepped forward and decided to experiment with himself first. Fortunately, the result was surprising, and he was successfully shrunk. After a day and a night, the children finally returned safely, although they had encountered many hardships. After this incident, their relationship with their parents became closer, and the two families also successfully broke the ice and became good friends. At the end of the story, they sat together for dinner, celebrating the safe return of the children, celebrating Wayne's big invention, and celebrating the hard-won friendship between the two families. Of course, they didn't forget the dog. With the big and small device, the dog, after making great achievements, also smoothly ate the huge dog food. This is the end. Subscribe for more movies like this. Thank you for watching.